We were just getting ready to round this one and put units on it before we go to our last page of the day. So this is what the calculator spit out. The directions say nearest hundred, not hundredth. This is hundredth. This is hundred. So there's no TH, so that means this is the number we're rounding. So remember, there's only two questions you ask yourself. Does it stay 1 or does it become 2? Those are the only choices. And everything after it becomes zeros. So 1 followed by a 4 says stay 1. And then all the rest zeros. So this would be 14,000 stays 1, 100. And then all the decimals, of course, will drop off because 0.0000 is just gone. So 14,100 would be it, rounded to the nearest 100 cubic feet. And there you have it. So these are pretty easy when you have a formula sheet and a calculator, huh? Okay, let's do our last page. Couple more volume problems. So find the volume of the square pyramid. So square pyramid is 1/3 times the side squared times h. And the side means the side of the square pyramid. So 1/3 times side squared times h. So we have 1/3 side of the square pyramid is 4 squared times the height, which is always next to the right angle segment, that would be 6. So this would be one like on the final that they won't give you a calculator, they just expect you to do it by hand. And it's pretty easy done by hand, so let's practice. So this would be 1/3, and once one of them's fractions, that means you want to make every number a fraction. So this would be 16 over 1, because 4 times 4 is 16, times 6 over 1. So multiply across, simplify. So even when they look ugly, they're not that hard to do because multiplication of fractions is very easy. You just multiply straight across. So 16 times 6 is 96. I'll just verify it. Over 3 times 1 is 3. And so do you guys know the trick for 3? To know whether 3 goes into a number? Add the digits. What's 9 plus 6? 15. 3 goes into 15. That means 3 goes into 96. So 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract, that's 0. Bring down your next number, 6. 3 goes into 6 twice. So it goes in evenly. 32. And our last step is to put the proper units. So I see its volume, so I know it's going to be cubed. And I look here, so meters cubed. So this is more like what I would put on the final because you're not going to have a calculator by your side. So I would put something that's very easy to do by hand without big ugly numbers. Okay, so I think that would be a good one to highlight. So if I put one on there, it would be something like that. Okay, let's go ahead and do the cone. So I see nearest hundredth. So notice this time it does have the TH. That means 2 decimals. So volume of a cone bring the formula sheet over, and I see the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. So it's really the area of the base, which is pi r squared. See how the circle's pi r squared? It loses volume, so it gets multiplied by 1/3, and then you take it times the height. So it's the area of the circle, multiply by 1/3 because it's losing volume, and then multiply it by its height. Because in high school, I used to make my geometry students memorize all these, so they had to think of different ways to do it. So it's the area of the base multiplied by 1/3 to account for the lack of volume, and then multiplied by the height. But you don't have to memorize it, so here we go. So this would be 1/3 times pi times r squared times h. So I just rewrite it just like I see it on the formula, but I put the times signs in just to make it easier for me to work out. Okay. So let's look and see what all of these are. So they said for pi to use 3.14. So I'm going to write 3.14 over 1 times radius. This one says diameter of 14 centimeters. So this is 14 centimeters. So do I just stick 14 in? Absolutely not. Don't do it. That's not what they're asking for. The formula's asking for the radius, and they're giving you the diameter. So this whole thing is 14 centimeters. So what should I use for the radius? 7. So 7 squared times height is next to the right angle segment, as I told you, so that would be times 9. So let's go ahead and practice on our calculator. I didn't really need to put that 3.14 over 1, but so you're going to type it in just like you see it. So let me move the calculator up so you guys can see my keystrokes. So 1 fraction bar 3 times, and we don't need to put that 1 in, so I'm just going to type in 3.14 times 7 x squared, and I could have put 49, but why not let the calculator do everything, times 9. So I type it just like I see it. 461.58. So B equals 461.58. Okay, so now let's look at the directions. So first off, does everybody understand why I picked 7, right? Because the formula says R. Don't make that mistake on the final. If they give you D, don't plug D into your formula, because that's not what the formula wants. It wants the radius, so you'll get it wrong every time. So if it helps you to put it on the picture and look at the picture, then do that. And this is not one I would have you do by hand on the final. So if I gave you this one, I would give you the Alex calculator on it. Okay, so now let's see. Nearest hundredth. So tenths, hundredths. So can I round that number if nothing's behind 8? No, I can't. So guess what? That's my answer. And then I put my units on it, centimeters, and it's volume, so that would be cubed. Not bad, right? And we've had a long day, and this one is an ugly one, which you would never see on a test. So we're going to skip that one because you've already had 11 videos today. So you are done with your second to the last day of class. See you Thursday.